welcome. So thank you very much, Secretary Pritzker. It's an honor to have you here. And my first question is a pretty easy one for you. Will you come to New Hampshire?
I'd love to come to New Hampshire.
Okay, very good. Because we really are a small business state, and I think that certainly the insight you'll hear from our manufacturers, which is the topic of today's hearing, but other small businesses in the state will be very helpful. And I really want to get you to New Hampshire to talk to our fishermen, because I'm concerned, as you and I talked when you were nominated, about the concerns that the impact that the catch share regulation is having on them. So if you say yes, I'll answer at that. I appreciate it. We'd love to have you, and I know I speak for my colleague Senator Shaheen, who would like to have you there as well, and we can do a joint visit to the state. What I would like to ask you about is the issue of your responsibility under, excuse me for a second, I did kind of run in here. The issue of spectrum and where we are in terms of the sharing of spectrum, particularly the issue that we have across government sectors between DOD, your position as a new secretary of trying to lead of sharing spectrum and or auctioning off more spectrum for the private sector. And as you know, the administration has had a goal of freeing up 500 megahertz of spectrum within 10 years. And where do you think we are on this? Can you update us? And what do you think you can do to move this forward? Because I feel like we've had a lot of discussions on it, but we aren't really making progress.
So, Senator, what I'd love to do is give you a specific update. I don't have that with me, so I'd like to make sure your office has it. What I have done is working with our undersecretary at NTIA is to make sure he understands how important this is, and that we're moving the ball forward to free up more spectrum, which is an objective not only of you, but also of the President. And so this has been a high priority for us. I don't have at my fingertips the latest statistics, but I would get that to your office.
Perfect. Appreciate the update on it, and
sure.
Appreciate your leadership in helping us move forward with this. I think it helps everyone. Helps us in terms of the issues. Obviously, we need to protect our national security with the DOD access that they need, but also the opportunities for economic growth that we need to make more spectrum available. And then finally, on the fisheries issue, I know I'm going to have you come to New Hampshire, but since you've been in your position, do you have any thoughts on how we can better help our fishermen with what they're dealing with the catch share policy, and particularly, obviously, in New Hampshire, last year, 22 active boats in the fishery, and this year we've only had 14, and really only 4 boats are actually fishing right now. So I just want them to continue to exist and to thrive and grow.
Well, Senator, I know how challenging, the cost share or the catch share is, and I understand the impact it's having on fishermen, on their families, on the culture in New Hampshire. And I know that I appreciate your efforts working with on the disaster relief effort as well. One of the things that I did after my confirmation hearing and after I was sworn in was we did put John Bullard in place as our Northeast administrator to work with the fishermen every day on trying to manage through what is a challenging period. The other thing we have done is we have been covering observer costs for both 2013 and 2014. And we want to work with you as you look as the Magnuson comes up for reauthorization as to how to best proceed with that.
Good, appreciate it. Now, you had tremendous private sector experience before you came here. Issues that impact the growth of manufacturing in this country, would you agree with me that our tax code has an impact on it in terms of tax rates and our competitiveness around the world? and obviously our regulatory climate as well, are those two key issues we have to get out if we want to grow manufacturing in the country.
Well, I think that, start with the tax code. Our corporate tax, I support the President's position on corporate tax reform, where, to bring the rate down, and particularly bring the rate down as well for manufacturers to the 25% area. I think that can be very helpful in terms of stimulating manufacturing and keeping, our companies, not just in manufacturing, but our companies in general, globally competitive. I think it's extremely important.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Blumenthal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for having this hearing.